Hi everybody, it's Audrey and I'm here today to share a super simple and fun and fast page using some DecoFoil from Thermoweb. And I'm going to be using the rainbow foil today, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm picking some vacation photos, and I'm going to use this older Soak Up the Sun collection from Cartabella that I found in a clearance pile in Hobby Lobby for like $5, which is awesome. And I am using the DecoFoil foam adhesive here, which is a thicker like foam, and I'm going to cut out a title with my silhouette, and I'm going to be using the foil over the foam. And this is one of my most favorite ways to use the DecoFoil with the foam, because it is just so simple and fast, and you don't have to really worry about using a laminator or a heating tool or anything else with the foil. It just simply sticks right to the foam. So I've got a couple pictures of my kiddos here with their heads in the sand, and I'm going through this collection kit and just picking out a few bits and some papers to add. I have a couple, I've already kind of sketched out a plan in my notebook, and so I'm pretty much know how I'm going to lay out my page. It's just a matter right now of picking out the papers and little embellishments and bits to go along with it. So I'm going to fussy cut out this sunshine from one of the pattern papers, and I have cut part of my title from the foam, and I use a blade depth of about 6, and I use a blade depth of about 6 and a slower speed, just because I want to make sure that all the little bits cut out. And I also do an overcut on my silhouette settings, just so that every little corner and little point can cut really nicely. And this is the rainbow foil, so I'm just trying to decide if I want to orient the rainbow horizontally or vertically. And so this is basically like a double-sided thick adhesive. I'm going to pull off the top layer of tape and just simply push the foil down over that sticky side, and the title there says sand, and I'm just going to kind of burnish over it with my finger. It's so easy and so simple and very fast. And of course there are so many different colors of foil to use, but I thought the rainbow would be fun. And you just peel it right off slowly, and voila. And the best thing about this is that if you go over and you realize like you missed a piece of the foam, like you didn't cover it completely, you just put the foil back over it and rub it again, and it rubs right back off on the sticky part. So you don't have to redo the whole thing. You can just go right back over it. So that's one of the great things about using the foam adhesive with the foil. Okay, so I got that title cut out. It's too bad that the video doesn't show it, doesn't give it more justice, the shiny, shimmery rainbow, but you'll see in some of my close-ups at the end the better detail of the foil there. I have cut out some pieces of paper, a green piece and a yellow piece, and I'm kind of fiddling around with my silhouette here, and I'm going to cut out some shapes to kind of embellish my page with, and lucky you get a great shot of my big old head. So I am working with this background paper, and I like the color of it, but when I start adding in all the other little bits, I'm not sure that I want to keep that background paper, because I kind of wanted the colorful things to stand off a little bit more, and I thought it was kind of too off-white for me, and I wanted a more white background. Oh, and I have a little helper there helping me out to decide where things go. Okay, so I've cut out a palm tree and a sandcastle. And by the way, all these files, the palm tree and the sandcastle, are together in one file called, I think it's just Summer Fun from the Just Nick store. And the word sand is also from the Just Nick store, and it's called Summer Words. And there's a couple different summery, beachy words there. So tapping away my fingers here, I'm deciding, I think I need something else behind these photos. What am I going to do? And see, I told you I had already kind of sketched out a plan, and I did. And I'm kind of following it, but for some reason I'm like, I've just got a little stuck. So I had an idea to kind of ground my photos better, to add some circles behind them. And I'm using this piece of pattern paper. I wanted a little bit of blue, so I'm cutting out this particular section of the pattern paper here, and I'm going to put those circles right behind my photos. And I don't really use my silhouette to cut circles. If I'm going to cut circles, I just trace them from something and then cut them out with scissors because it's faster. So I like how that kind of grounds my photos a little bit better. And just to bring in one more little element of blue up there, I'm going to add a little cloud, and that kind of helps create a visual triangle with the 2 blue circles and a little blue cloud up at the top. So I'm testing out this banner piece, and I put it back because I don't think I like it, but I actually end up going back and grabbing it off again because I decide I do like it. So I play around with a couple more embellishments from this paper pack here, and in general I didn't want to add too much to this page because the focus was on the title and the rainbow in the title, and so I didn't want to draw away from that too much, and I'm just going to leave it to kind of a minimal. So this is kind of a very simple page for me. Now I liked how that wood grain kind of matted that photo, but I wanted to do it on the other photo as well, and there was nothing else in this kit that had the same wood grain print that would, well, there was a couple other little pieces, but not big enough to mat my photo on, but the other photo, the second photo. So I decided not to end up using it, at the end. And I know I could have probably gone through my stash and found something else wood grain, but I was kind of being lazy and decided I could just do without it. I'm just going to go through and add some mists here. I'm going to add some mustard and some teal mist from Heidi Swapp and splatter that on. And I love this little arrow print. It added a great kind of flow and really helped draw your eye to things on the page. So I wanted to use a couple strips of those arrows. It also reminded me of a quilting pattern. Maybe that's also why I liked it. By adding that little yellow sticker to the photo on my left, I've now created another visual triangle with the yellow between the sun and the sandcastle and the sticker, and that adds a good flow as well. And here I've gone back and I decided, yes, I am going to use that little banner, and I'm going to kind of break up that little banner across the page. So I'm going to put half of it to the left of the page and half to the right. And before I do that, I wanted to do a little stitching. So I machine stitched around my circles. And now I'm going to go ahead and start gluing everything down. I glue the circles down in the palm tree. The DecoFoil, as you can see, has adhesive or a backing on the adhesive on the other side. So it's just peel it off and stick it on, which is awesome. Look at how pretty that looks. Oh, I just love that shimmery look. And a little sandcastle, just going to glue down those photos. And I've added some foam squares, the 3D foam squares from Therm also, to help pop off that little banner piece from the page. And I also use, you can see right above my scissors there to the right, the new mixed media liquid adhesive from Therm, which is awesome. It dries fast, but it doesn't dry so super fast that you can't remove something off once you've put it down. So I love using that liquid adhesive. And I use liquid adhesive on pretty much everything. I never really use a tape runner. The only other type of adhesive I use really is like foam dots or foam squares. So I added a little cluster on my daughter's photo there. I'm going to add a little label for the date. And I love these pictures. We had a fun time burying ourselves in the sand. Well, my son and I had a fun time. My daughter absolutely hated it. I think she was just being a little ornery because we had been out in the sun so long, but she would not do a nice picture. So her photo is kind of terrible there, and actually that's what I journal about, how cranky she was about getting buried in the sand. I don't know, maybe she legitimately didn't like being buried in the sand, but it was not that deep. I think she was just being difficult. And then she looked at this page and said, "Mommy, I don't like that photo of me." And I said, well, honey, next time mommy takes your photo and tells you to smile, maybe you better listen. So I know, I'm horrible. Anyway, I'm just fiddling around. I punched some circles out there because I wanted to see if I wanted to add a few more circles, but I thought it was kind of taken away from the design. So I didn't add any more circles on, just a couple other little embellishments. And I needed to find some stickers for the rest of my title, which was going to be Head in the Sand. And I pulled out these My Mind's Eye stickers. Actually, some are My Mind's Eye and some are Simple Stories. They're very, very similar. And of course, I didn't have enough of the letters that I needed from the one, so I had to go get them from the other. And the yellows are slightly different yellows. One is a more like mustardy and the other one's kind of more towards the beige. So I just mixed up the letters as best I could and got my title finished. And that's pretty much it. I do add some pencil lines for journaling underneath my title. And I had to move that sun down a little bit because it was a little too spread out for me. And it helped, I think, concentrate the design in the page a little bit, in the middle of the page a little bit more. Yeah, so that's it. So another fun, easy way to use foil on your page. There's my finished page. Fast but cute and simple. There's a good shot of the foil. Look at that beautiful rainbow color. Oh, I love it. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you very soon.